Welcome everyone, Jennifer Henczel here. I'm so excited to share with you my influence formula for more flow, focus, and freedom. We're going to talk about what influence is, the 4 myths and the 4 truths about influence, and the 4 P's of persuasion for magnetizing opportunities and being the go-to leader in your niche. Let's dive in.
Welcome everyone. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Jennifer Henczel, and I'm here today to talk with you about my influence formula, a framework for more flow, focus, and freedom. It's my proven path for moving from invisible to impactful. I want you to know I've been where you are, and I want to help you with monetizing your message so you can build a fulfilling business and live a life you love. I'll be chatting with you about what influence is and why you need it. 4 myths and 4 truths about influence. My influence formula for achieving ascendance, authority, alignment, and abundance. 4 P's of persuasion for magnetizing opportunities and becoming the go-to leader in your niche. Plus, I'll share my curated list of top tools for achieving influence. Above all, I created this teaching to encourage and inspire you, so please schedule the time to go through this teaching with an open and relaxed mind and body. Be sure to look below this video for the downloads that go with each of the steps and strategies that I'll be sharing. If you're listening to this on one of my podcasts, go to influenceformula.net and that will direct you to the right page so you can see the slides and the video. Who is this teaching for? This Influence Formula Masterclass is for anyone who's an expert and who wants to leverage their expertise to generate more income and influence and rise to the top of their niche. So we're talking about coaches, consultants, strategists, speakers, trainers, creators, podcasters, broadcasters, show hosts, experts, service providers, business owners, and solopreneurs. You have an important message and you want to create momentum and movement around your vision, right? So I have some questions for you. Say yes out loud if any of these apply to you. Do you want to turn your side gig into a full-time income? Have you been wondering why you've been doing so much work but not getting your desired results? Do you feel like you've invested in all the recommended learning and courses and programs and things still aren't unfolding the way you want? Would you like to impact the world with your message? Would you like to get more organized and have clarity around what the heck you're doing and what the next step is? Most importantly, is what you're doing now working for you? I was in the same situation, but I found a way to move to the next level. Now my passion is helping others to break through and experience success. Whatever that looks like for you, it's all about creating the abundance, freedom, and the time you've been looking for. Whether you're just starting out or you've tried every strategy out there, you'll find some nuggets just for you in this training. So who am I and why should you listen to me? My name is Jennifer Henczel. I'm a podcaster, best-selling author, award-winning leader, founder of the Inspiring Influencers Network, the Women in Podcasting Network, and Elevating You Mastermind. I've been selling online since the beginning of the internet and learning from all the top leaders along the way. But for many years, it was my part-time side gig, and in 2012, I was finally able to break through and make it my full-time business. Over the years, I've helped thousands of other leaders, nonprofits, and business owners who want to level up and get connected and scale. I love building communities, creating practical and helpful templates, courses, and programs for my clients and members. I navigate people through all the marketing options and tools so they can build a client attraction system that works for them. Now more than ever, the world needs to hear your voice. I also want you to know I'm not a tech wizard. I don't have a marketing firm. I'm not going to try to sell you marketing services or audio or video services. I'm not a podcast producer or audio engineer. I'm an entrepreneur and business owner just like many of you, and I've gone through the struggles and made all the mistakes, and I've learned these skills that have helped me to break through to the next level. So I want to encourage you, if you don't have strong technical skills, when you're ready, you can outsource pieces of the work. But if you don't know what the full system looks like and learn it first yourself, then you'll be paying a lot more for your outsourcing. By knowing how it works, you'll know what to outsource, saving you a lot of time and headaches and money. So no matter what level you're at, you can find something helpful in this training. Also, keep in mind as you're listening, even if you've heard some of these pieces before, little bits here and there, ask yourself, is what you're doing now working for you? Because if it's not, then I can help you fill in the gaps. You probably just need some small tweaks to break through. That's what happened with me. I was just missing a couple pieces, and when it finally started working, it's such a relief. Also, things are changing. They're changing very rapidly, so you need to know what's working now. So I'll be showing you my systems and how you can use them too to build your empire. Let's talk about the 4 myths of influence. Myth number 1, I have to have millions of followers to have influence. No, you can start small and grow it from there. Visualize yourself surrounded by light and radiating all your brilliance into the world. And that's acting like a magnet, attracting all kinds of opportunities into your universe. That's your sphere of influence. Even if you don't think you have enough followers, or you might think, how can I even grow a big enough community? But focus on the ones you can serve and help right now. You'll have some top followers rise to the top as your biggest fans. I call those your champions. Focus on the champions of your message, no matter if that's 1 person, 2 people, 10 people, or even 100, and it will grow from there. Taking many small steps along the path is what's going to help you ascend to new levels of personal and professional achievement and success. Myth number 2, having influence, being a thought leader, being a leader at the top is bad or fake. Some have been taught from birth that it's wrong to stand out or be in a leadership role with influence, but it's not just standing out for the sake of getting attention. It's about impacting people's lives in a positive way. Most of you are here today because you're pursuing your dreams and you want a life of freedom and helping others. No one is here today to be fake, right? You want to feel good about your offerings. You want to feel good about building relationships and how you're serving others, all while attracting your ideal audience and generating income. Being a true leader and a true influencer involves authenticity and vulnerability. It's about being genuine and real with people. It's about operating in your superpower and your zone of genius. You are your brand, so when you shine brightly, that's what's going to enable everything else you put in place to work. That's going to be the fuel that ignites everything else. The fact is that establishing yourself as the go-to leader in your industry is an essential part of building your platform, showcasing your expertise, and gaining visibility. It's about building authority. Myth number 3, the one who creates and teaches the most amazing courses will make the most money. No, unfortunately, just creating the most beautiful, huge curriculum filled with overflowing expertise does not equate to dollars or influence. Or similarly, the one who is the best speaker in the land is going to win the day and all the influence. No, I was, some would say, a horrible speaker. Well, I didn't follow most of the rules. I would drive proper speech makers crazy. I've taken all the courses, Toastmasters, Dale Carnegie, all those things. I was just a bit of a rebel, but I made more from the stage than most of the speakers I knew because I may not have been the best, but I had boldness, and I may not have had the most confidence, but I had the most courage. And most of all, I developed and implemented a proven system. You need to know where your course or other offerings fit into the framework. Otherwise, you're just waiting and hoping and guessing. I have seen the most beautiful, polished speeches, and the person has made nothing with their talk or very little responses. The most important thing is to get your message out there in a way that's actually going to move people to action. And you may be surprised to know that they don't need the most polished version of you. They need the most authentic and real version of you because that's the uniqueness you bring to the world. Myth number 4, money is bad. No. Money is a measurement and a manifestation of your intentions, thoughts, and actions in the world. It's the same as any other item in your physical realm. Some people do bad things with money, but money in and of itself is not bad. If you don't want to make money, this probably is the wrong teaching for you right now. Here in this teaching, income is part of our plan for abundance so we can help ourselves and others. So if you're excited to generate more income, repeat this with me. I attract abundance. I am a magnet for opportunities. Positivity can be found everywhere. My brilliance is radiant and shines all around me. Life-changing connections are flowing my way. You have to program your self-talk and thinking to embrace the possibilities and abundance. You have to believe in yourself if you want to achieve positive outcomes. I've learned all those lessons the hard way, and now I want to share the lessons with you and what really works. So, what is influence? We covered the myths of influence. Now, let's chat about the actual meaning of influence. Ultimately, try not to get bogged down by limiting beliefs or attaching negative thoughts to the word influence or influencers. Words have the meaning and power that you give them. The dictionary says an influencer is an individual who has the credibility and power to affect mindsets, behaviors, or decisions of others because of their authority, knowledge, position, or relationship with their audience. An individual who has a following and a particular niche which they actively engage with. And to clarify, in this training and methodology, influencer simply means a leader or thought leader, an expert who shares knowledge from their field of expertise or life experience, a coach who helps people overcome challenges in a niche, a speaker, a teacher, a trainer, instructor, facilitator, managers, supervisors, business owners, basically a person who has boldly stepped up to be a leader of any kind who shares their heart and mind to help others. It's also about you. You are the biggest influencer in your own life. So it's about optimizing your mind, your story, and your systems for better results in the world. First and foremost, for me, an influencer is a community builder. Community is not just something that happens, it takes intention. It's about being a guide and leading people to the answers. I'm a facilitator, a nurturer. I love moving people to action through engagement, inspiration, mindset work, and teachings. As a community builder, I'm a connector. I foster a culture of collaboration over competition, and there's a beautiful thing about collaboration and connecting with others. Here's the thing to know for anyone starting out. If you feel you don't have a community or an audience, then start by becoming part of someone else's community. 4 truths about influence. That leads us now to the first truth about influence. So I told you the 4 myths about influence. Well, now we're going to talk about the 4 profound truths that I've seen in every person who's been able to break through and become an influencer. Truth number 1, ascension. The first truth is that influence has the element of ascension, ascending to the higher levels of yourself and how you show up in your life and business, your passion and your purpose, ascending to new levels of results and outcomes. The beginning steps of my ascension journey started from the depths of the deepest valley. I'm going to be sharing my ascension so you can explore your own ascension and identify where you're at in your own story. So as I tell my story, think of your own journey. Now, some of you know my story, so feel free to skip ahead about 2 minutes so that you don't have to hear it again. But also, a trigger warning for anyone, it also involves a near-death accident. So if you don't want to hear that, then go ahead and skip ahead about 2 minutes. I'm going to go through it really quickly for anybody who hasn't heard it before. For me, it all started when one day I received the worst phone call that no one wants to hear. It was my husband's boss, and I was working in an office at a job at the time, and he called me there and said I had to come to the hospital right away because my husband had been in a very bad accident. I had to focus on the drive to the hospital, and I just kept thinking to myself, I'm not going to lose my best friend today. When I finally got to him in the hospital, I didn't recognize him at first. He was covered in blood, and his chest and his body were all caved in, and he had been crushed by thousands of pounds of wood at work. They said his lung was punctured, he had breaks and fractures throughout his body, and a number of other things. But thankfully, he survived. And the days and months and weeks and even years following the accident were extremely difficult on our whole family. My husband was left with multiple injuries, and I had to spend a lot of time driving him from doctor to doctor. So as you can imagine, this made life very busy. I was exhausted, but I saw such amazing courage, strength, and determination in my love. Even in the darkest days, we chose to hold on to hope. Maya Angelou said, "You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them." One of the things that impacted me the most was how the communities my husband was involved in before his accident now rallied around him and supported him. You see, Paul was a volunteer football coach and announcer, and football players and coaches would come by and say things like, "We're here for you, Coach Paul." When I examined my situation, I realized I had become isolated. I isolated myself. I had allowed myself to become stuck behind my screens, stuck in my job, stuck in my life. Have you ever felt stuck? The whole situation really blew up all of our lives, but it also reignited a spark within me. I had finally had enough of not living the life I had imagined and the way I dreamed and the way I wanted. I wanted to finally break through with my business from part-time side gig to full-time income so that I could drive my husband around and do all the things that needed to be done from home. And in the beginning, I thought, how am I going to make a full-time paycheck and more every month? I had the skills. I had used my strategies for all the other companies for years that I worked for. But for me, it was my mindset that was holding me back. I had to believe in myself and I had to take a chance on myself. So I gave myself 30 days to make it. And guess what? Within 30 days, I did it. First, I noticed one of the things that I was missing was that kind of community in the business world. So I invited some other local business owners to join me for lunch, and to my surprise that day, 50 business owners showed up. And it was clear to me that there was a need for deeper connection. The little room we had reserved was overflowing. Imagine that, I wasn't the only one. That one meeting turned into a group, and that group turned into a network, and I was on a mission to build a circle of support around entrepreneurs. I created multiple chapters in many cities throughout my region. And I found out that for anything to work, you need to be part of a community. You need to build your circle of support around you. It's not going to build itself. And people will help if you show up to be helped. I experienced the value of being connected and supported. Hustling alone on your island won't get you very far, but walking the path and climbing the mountain with other like-minded people make the journey more enjoyable and take you places you can't imagine. Opportunities will flow to you. To do that, I had to flip the scripts in my mind, you know, the ones that say, you have to do everything on your own, you don't need people, you have to be polished before you show up. Quite the opposite. You have to be you to show up. That's it. That's all it takes is the real you to stand up and let yourself be seen. And you'll find your friends and your following and your place to call home. I ended up running that particular network for over 6 years and planning and promoting over 500 events. The events were of all sizes, from small meetups to large conferences, and it not only enriched and fulfilled my life, but it helped many other people around me too. I was even able to use my new platform to help my husband go from an injured mill worker to an international speaker. He's even done a TED Talk and written a book about our story. There are opportunities you can't even imagine that take place from connecting with others in a genuine and authentic way that feels good. It was so rewarding to see all the great connections that took place. Networking is key to not only the growth of your business, but it's also a relief and a support to regularly meet with other leaders and visionaries like you who are facing similar challenges. Support and encouragement are always at the core of any community I create. If you want your podcast or your modality or your message to be as successful as it can be, you need to build a community around it. I started to apply these approaches to every part of my life and business, and it's made a huge difference in my level of contentment, satisfaction, happiness, and it's actually infused a lot of joy into every area of my life and business. Now I show others how to build communities, and my superpower is building communities. I know how to monetize them and turn my expertise into extra income and provide solutions that people want and need. I love having the security of knowing that I can create a community from nothing that really feels good to me and the members in it. And that generates a monthly recurring income for me. I find out what the community needs and I provide it. Anyone who knows me can tell you they've witnessed me doing this over and over again. So in this first truth about influence, I want to ask you, how are you connecting with others? Do you want the security of knowing you can generate an income from doing anything you love? You have superpowers too that you can monetize. I just know it. My current groups are also growing very fast, and the reason it continues to grow is because people want to connect. And guess what? People want to connect with you. Say it to yourself right now. Say it out loud. People want to connect with me. There are people out there who need what you have to offer and who want to meet you. Focusing on giving rather than just taking is one of the keys to flowing in abundance. Learn how to collaborate rather than compete. We are all stronger together, wouldn't you agree? And you need to be part of a community to thrive. Being part of a community has been a critical part of my ascension. That's my ascension story. Now, what is your story? Where are you at in your journey? I have some links to help you connect with others and to think about your story and what you have to offer to ascend to your highest level. Schedule in some time and consider the questions and writing prompts that I've provided. Reflect on where you are and where you want to go. Ascension is all about showing up and rising to your highest self in your life and business. Every influencer is an open book about their mistakes, struggles, and successes and has an ascension story. That's a common element of all influencers. Truth number 2, authority. The second truth of influence is authority. If you're here, I know you are a leader. You're a leader because you're building a supportive community around a specific topic. You're helping people and leading them through a specific process towards a solution. You're leading people on some sort of transformational journey, or you're building a movement around a particular method or modality. Or you're a leader because you're building awareness in your community about an important issue. Or maybe you're just starting out and aspire to be doing any of those things. If building communities and creating movements is even on your radar, then you're probably a leader in the making. No matter what your message, you're trying to affect change in a positive way and lead others toward a desired result, right? So there's lots of ways, a million ways to establish yourself as an expert, ethically and authentically, while honoring yourself and others to build your influence. Benefits of influence. So let's talk about why you should embrace influence and authority. As you heard in the previous section, in 2012, I was able to take the leap and turn my part-time side gig into my full-time business by using my influence formula. I went from isolated to invisible to ignited and impactful. Influence helps you to gain respect and credibility. Influence helps you to increase the know, like, and trust factor. Influence will help you to build a thriving community. And when you have a thriving community, it will get the attention and attract other influencers and thought leaders, and that can help you get your foot in the door and open all kinds of amazing collaborations and opportunities. Here's my influence formula. Write this down. Flow plus focus plus framework equals influence and freedom. Now imagine an infinity loop. I want you to download the diagrams that I have for you below this video. Choose which one resonates with you because I want you to get really creative with it as we go through this together. You can color it or design it however you like. If you need to stop the video now and print it off, or better yet, draw your own, I'd love to see it when you're done, so feel free to reach out to me and show it to me. Flow. On the left side of the infinity loop is flow. Your flow is your inspiration, your ideas, your passions. If you don't know what your passion is, ask yourself, what really fires you up? What really makes you uniquely you? In your diagram, jot down some of your passions in the flow area. Passion. This also gives us our first P of the 4 Ps of persuasion for magnetizing opportunities and becoming the go-to leader in your niche. Passion. It's important to express and live your passion to experience fulfillment and joy in your life and business. If you haven't done any work in this area of identifying your passions, then put everything you've got into this exercise. I have an extra workbook for you with some writing prompts to help you out. This is a really important area. This part of the formula is all about you, confronting any limiting beliefs and allowing yourself to embrace your passions. Some of you have already done extensive work in this area of identifying your passions, but my question to you is, have you reviewed it lately? Give it a go and see what new discoveries you can uncover. It's an easy one to skip over by thinking you have it mastered, but this was the area I was missing, the internal part of the influence formula. If you skip this, nothing else will work. Whether you're new to this or you're already a pro at knowing what your passion is, schedule some time in to work on your drawing and journaling and review the questions in the workbook. Also, remember, your words have power. If you want your message, your movement, your story, your content to have impact, you need to spend some thoughtful time on this. So I created another workbook below to help you identify the key passion words you should be using to best express your passion to the world. It's my 300 plus passion words exercise. Words have power to influence and to inspire. Inspire change and inspire transformation. Focus. On the other side of the infinity loop is focus. Focus is your clarity around who you are serving, who you're doing this for, who is your ideal audience, what's their biggest struggle, what are they trying to solve or achieve, where can you find them, and where are they trying to go? What's their desired destination and what do they want the journey to look like? And your next P. What is their pain or problem? That's our second P in the 4 Ps of persuasion. When you know your ideal audience, you can achieve focus and clarity around who you are serving and what you're offering. I have another gift for you. You can access my avatar kit below, which has 50 questions to ask yourself and writing prompts about your audience to help you really zero in and identify your ideal audience. This exercise can bring you a lot of clarity. An avatar is a character or list of characteristics that describe your ideal customer, client, or member. Being aware of what your ideal audience's pain or problem is isn't about focusing on the negative. It's actually the only way to identify and uncover the solutions that they need and want. What results and outcomes do they desire? You have to uncover the pain and problem in order to discover the solutions and the results that your audience truly needs and wants at their core. You need to know how your passion can fulfill what they need. It's about having intention on what you create and release into the world. The thing to remember about the flow and focus sections of the influence formula is that if you only focus on one of the areas, then it's going to be unbalanced. So far, we have our flow and our focus, and we also have 2 of the P's of persuasion, which are passion and pain/problem. And that takes us to the third truth about influence, and that is alignment. The first truth of influence was ascension, the second was authority, and the third one is alignment. Your infinity loop needs to be balanced. You need balance between your flow and your focus, or what will happen? If you're only going after your passion and you refuse to consider your audience, well, you just aren't going to make any money. On the flip side of that, if you only focus on your audience and what's going to make you money, then you know what will happen, right? I know you know what happens. You've seen it before in yourself or others. Burnout, right? It doesn't work. If one side is too heavy, then your zone of genius can't shine and you won't achieve influence. Seek balance between your flow and your focus, and you will achieve alignment. Then that's where the magic happens. When the 2 sides are aligned, that's your purpose. Your purpose. Purpose is the third P of the 4 Ps of persuasion. I want you to hear this. Your purpose is how you serve the world with your passion. You need both. You have to have alignment here for anything else to work. You'll be fulfilled by living your passion while helping others. Do you see how powerful it is when they converge together? Your purpose matters. The world needs your gifts and talents. There is no one else like you. The world needs you, and there are people out there right now who need what you have to offer. Truth number 4, abundance. When both sides are aligned, your flow and your focus, you can better create products and programs that light you up, that resonate with your inner self and your higher self, and that resonate with your audience. This is where your framework comes in. When you're living your purpose, you're able to create solutions and build a framework and a client attraction system that works. Your framework includes your products, your programs, your services, how you're going to position and sell your offerings, pricing, marketing, every aspect of your whole system that will attract and serve your audience. Your framework is your wisdom and aligned purpose manifesting itself in the world. If you feel you already have a perfect system in place but things aren't happening for you, then it could be that the other areas are not in alignment, and you need to revisit those areas and keep working at them. When your flow, your focus, and your framework are all in harmonious movement around your infinity loop, everything's working together, that's when you're going to achieve abundance, influence, freedom, and prosperity. Prosperity is your 4th P of persuasion. You are surrounded by opportunities for prosperity. You just need a system for magnetizing people into your sphere of influence. What takes you from a dynamic, awesome person with an amazing story to the next level of being an influencer is that you put your audience, your members, your clients at the center of your message. You're going to show them how they are the star of the show. You're the guide, so show them what the journey looks like and what success looks like. That's what's going to help you enter the conversation that's already going on in their head, and even more importantly, what's going on in their heart. There's a saying, the world needs fewer commanders and more influencers. Influence is when you tap not only into their mind, but their heart. Of course, you need to get your own messaging right first about you and your company, what you're offering. That's just part of business and business planning. You need to know your strengths, your branding, what you do, what you don't do, but don't get stuck there because remember, the story isn't about you, it's about them. I see people getting stuck in the creativity loop too. For example, people taking, 6 months or a year to create their logo. And, the logo is the tiniest part of how you're going to be successful in business. And yet people spend so much time on it or spending too much time on their website or other assets like that are not going to be the thing that's going to help you stand out. Or people get stuck in the learning loop, taking program after program and never implementing. Ultimately, to magnetize your audience, you need to be answering their questions in all of your copy and content for every product you plan, produce, and promote. Here's another way of looking at my influence formula and seeing how it all fits together. See how everything connects to achieve influence, abundance, and prosperity? Check off each cell to have a complete system in place. To summarize, the influence formula is flow plus focus plus framework equals freedom and influence. The 4 truths of influence are ascension, authority, alignment, and abundance. The 4 P's of persuasion for magnetizing opportunities and becoming the go-to leader in your niche are your passion, your audience's pain or problem, your purpose, and your prosperity, programs and products, profits, and payment. If you want to see how I build out my framework, watch my next video. All the things I've shown you today are the building blocks of creating influence. If you have something to offer the world, let's get this going for you. If you'd like more training on this, you can join one of my communities, either the Inspiring Influencers Network at inspiringinfluencers.net or Women in Podcasting Network at womeninpodcasting.net. If you need further help one-on-one, I do have a mentorship program. If you're interested in that, reach out and we can see if it's a fit and I'll send you the link to apply. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you being here and I look forward to connecting with you further.